Ball out. Ball out.
Bow, bow. Bow, bow.
Ball out.
Bow,
Ball out.
bow. All we do is bow.
Ball out.
Bow, bow, bow.
Ball out. Ball out.
Ball out.
Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out. Ball out. We about to take them all out. Ball out. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out. Ball out. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out. Ball out. We about to take them all out. Ball out. Ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out. Dropping by the mall out. Come deliver mail on y'all route. Show them what it's all about. Just get called out. Fall out. Fall out. Me and my clique, we don't fall out. Me and my chick, we don't fall out. We minding our business, keep y'all out. Break up, get up quick, then we hit licks till it's all out. I hate my job, I'ma call out. Boss on myself, child out. I'm a recruiter, a high percentage shooters, gotta keep rifles and Rugers. Some people just trifling and losers. Watch for the jackets at night, they be cruising. I can put together. AR Kinston Yetta. My hitters be tougher than leather. Can't nobody do it better. Glock 9 with the F in. Step in with my best friend. Best friend Smith and West End. If you miss 6, still catch 10. Ball out, ball out. Stall out. Pulling up outside the y'all house. Empty till we all out. I got the juice and I'm crazy. If you not a killer, don't say. Hit squad ain't nothing to play with. Undertaker and a grave dig. Best man like Tay Diggs. When you in the paint, gotta play big. Hitters ignorant like cavemen. Went from good fellas to made men. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Shout out, ball out, get called out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out, ball out. We about to take them all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Ball out, ball out. We about to take them all out. Ball out, ball out. Me and my hitters go all out. Me and my hitters go all out. We about to take them all out.
We got a hot show coming for you today. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, share. Boss Cowboy, the OC in the building with some Cowboys talk, and specifically talking about the linebacker, the controversial topic of late Boss Cowboy, Jabril Cox. Let's get into this thing. How you feel, Boss Cowboy?
I feel good, man. How you doing?
Feeling fantastic.
So I just talked to Akoye. He's parking, so he gonna be here in a minute. We already got him queued up. So soon as he get here, we'll be able to plug him right on in. So, right. But yeah, it is very controversial. It's a lot of controversy about this. It's a lot of, I would say confusion. That's what I would really call it. It's more confusion, even over controversy. So we go address it today, and I'm pretty certain if people stay through the show, it's gonna be clear, because all of us mean well. Yeah, all of us mean well, but it's about kind of debating this out and kind of seeing if we can mush it. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. Mush it or mash it?
Mash.
We want to mash. It might be a bunch of mush by the time we done, but we gonna see what happened tonight, man. Regardless of what, whoever's watching this show is gonna get an extensive education about the safety and linebacker position and how this all relates to the defense of the Dallas Cowboys coming up in this coming season. And what in particular, Boss Cowboy, because you kind of put some things out privately, we go kind of unravel this as we go. Does the man Dan Quinn in particular, perhaps, what does he have in mind for this defense? What is he trying to do? What is he masterminding around? That's what the folks want to know. What is he masterminding around?
See, you already trying to get me to show it. I'm not going to show it yet. I'm waiting till Akoye come in here. But see, what I want to ask you, and I want to be all the way straight up with you. I want to ask you straight up. We've been kind of talking about Cox, and you was team it'll never happen. Are you still kind of like that, or did kind of like our private fights start to maybe move you over, maybe?
I am still team for the most part. I don't think it's gonna happen. But based upon just me doing more study, me taking some more time to think, I have a percentage in me that it could happen. And I was never against the ideal that it was a ideal that was bad in terms of him being able to play safety based upon his history. So let me set that straight first of all. What I was explicitly against was against the ideal and the ideal that they would actually do it. Right. So on that aspect, I am moved. My needle has moved. I'm taking my foot off the gas in the sense of I'm a small percentage that they would potentially maybe do it. So that's where the difference is with me.
Yeah. Expound on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the whole deal, and without us getting too deep into this, listen, as we know, we signed a few safeties, right? Right now we have 4 or 5 safeties on the active roster. And so we even drafted a guy and immediately a cornerback and immediately said, hey, this guy's going to be a safety. We drafted Jabril Cox as a linebacker. Does he have the background of playing safety and even a few other positions? Actually, I'm going to save that to later. Besides safety, yeah, he has the background. Is he great in coverage? Yeah, he's great in coverage. But when you have a deficiency in questions at linebacker, and when you have the retirement of Sean Lee with no clear veteran replacement, and you draft a Jabril Cox, it tends to me, and it says to me, that you're not drafting him with the first ideal, let me be very clear, the first ideal of converting him. Although it could be a possibility, I don't think that's the first ideal.
Gotcha. And we do got Akoye in the building. He just tuned in. What's up, my guy?
What's good? How y'all doing, man?
What's good, man? We definitely get it. We getting ready to get into the sauce, my man. So the OC stalling. So I'm gonna cue you up a little bit. I'm gonna get you all nice, man. I'm gonna show that T-Pain style that you got, man.
I love it.
Yeah, go ahead, OC, while I cue him up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, I mean, essentially, I mean, look, and we talked about this privately, and I'll kind of tease this as we get into this concept a little bit more. I mean, the ideal of Jabril Cox going to the safety position lends to when he was actually a little bit lighter at North Dakota. See, a lot of people don't realize he's grown into his man body. Yeah. Okay?
Good point.
When he started at North Dakota State, he was lighter. He was lighter in the pants. He wasn't 230.
True. Nah, epic point.
We see a 230 Jabril Cox playing linebacker, playing a wheel linebacker position at LSU.
OC. Damn
right?
You. Damn
that's
you.
what we see. But we didn't see that at North Dakota State. What we saw was a former quarterback. A former quarterback who had a great IQ for routes, a great IQ for where the ball could be placed, and he capitalized on that by making a lot of big plays at North Dakota State. Now, fast forward, we see the transfer to LSU. Now we see all the playmaking ability that he has on display from the linebacker position and in space, in particular in between the hashes. So without getting too deep into it, I'll tee it up and I'm going to kick it to Akoye. Thanks for joining the show, man. Great to see you.
No problem, man. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, no doubt. So we saw him now covering slot receivers, right? We saw LSU having a true nickel package and saying, I don't care what you do in spread. We see this in particular if you look at Mississippi State tape. You see it also on trips right, and then him singled up on the left, one-on-one versus the receiver. They tried to play bully ball against him. It did not work because he's covering his receiver like a blanket one-on-one. So we see the diversity of his athletic ability in that sense.
And with Akoye in the building, we go get right into his film in just a second. All right. But this is the man. This is the myth, the legend, the OG. Akoye himself. Hey, I called you a legend. You know how we got to do that, my brother. We got to do that.
Yeah, you got to do all that. I appreciate it, though.
Yeah, but we go get right into the film. And what I did to make everything easy, I just took out your audio. So you go be able to get the whole commentary and break it down, and we go break it down together. This is the other thing I want to say. I have his video in the description. So make sure y'all go check it out because he put his nuts out there. But I think he backed it up too. So we go get right into it. Now, I think he did a damn good job because I watched it, but I watched it today. And we go get into that. So did you want to say anything before we get into that film, big homie?
Like I said, I know it's been a lot of back and forth on Twitter. A lot of us have our opinions, and that's what we do it for.
Right.
But my video wasn't a push to make him a safety. It's more so he's literally, it's no, even the commentators that say the same thing. He's literally a corner trapped in a safety's body or trapped in a linebacker's body, whatever frame you want to give him. Because we've seen linebackers undersized or smaller than he is, and we've seen safeties bigger than he is. So, either whatever frame you want to say he has, like Cam Chancellor has same exact size. You know what I mean? Darren Woodson wasn't too far off of him either, actually. Nor was John Lynch. They all had that same that same transgression too from safety. I mean, from linebacker to safety, and then the reverse with Thomas Davis. When he was in Georgia, he was a safety, and they tried to Roy Williams him, and they wound up making him a linebacker. So, like I said, he can be effective either way. But like I said, it wasn't a push for him to play safety. It's just saying, like, listen, we need safety help. We've seen Wilson at the free safety and the strong. I think he does play better at the strong, to be honest, when he's closer to the line. But I also like him roaming over the top as well. What I don't want, honestly, is guys like KZ or X Woods out there who really can roam the field, but they don't like contact. It's rare that you find a guy like a Earl Thomas who's smaller, can get sideline to sideline, but also wants to bring some contact to the opposition. And that's what I don't see in either of those two. And now that I'm watching the film on Mukamu, he's the same way. Like, he's more of a corner than a safety. He's very, very soft when it comes to contact. He moves well. He has great ball skills, but he will not hit you. He's a reach tackler, won't hit you. I think Nashawn probably is more, if you're going to say you're going to put a 6'4" guy at safety, Nashawn will hit you. He's more ready to hit you than Mukamu is. But I say all that to say, like I said, we have a glaring weakness with KZ coming off of that. I think he's an ACL or Achilles tear. I forget which one.
Achilles.
ACL, yep.
That was Achilles.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll have him in camp, so we still have that issue. So looking at the film, I didn't go into the film saying
Akoye, let's get ready to the film, homie.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
I just said this is a safety playing on film. It looks like
let's go. Let's go to the film right now.
Yeah.
Here it is. Go.
I mean, you already see. I compared him to Derwin James just for the fact that they have a similar frame and similar skill set, because San Diego doesn't use Derwin in the sense that they have him roaming over the top. Although Derwin is versatile enough to do both, he's most effective near the line of scrimmage. And if you were to use Cox in an ideal world in that fashion, whether you want to call him a safety or a sub package, linebacker, whatever you want to call him, if you use him in this fashion, I don't care what title you give him. If you use him in this fashion in the way they're using Derwin James, I think it gives us an advantage, because he's a guy that allows you to go through multiple packages without having to change your personnel per se. You can change the look, and he can be responsible for multiple things. It's sort of like when you have a safety that used to be a corner who can come down and cover, sort of like we were using X Woods in the beginning.
Right.
We would stay in 4-3, still have 3 linebackers out on the field, and just bring X Woods down and have him playing nickel with a single high safety over the top. You can do different things when you have a guy like him on the field. So, even when Still says, like, hey, let's use him at linebacker, even if you took him and moved him to nickel and stayed in your base formation, I don't care what you call it, and then keep 2 safeties on the field behind him. That's fine with me too, because at the end of the day, his skill set in the slot and close to the line of scrimmage is what I'm interested in, minus his deficiencies in the run game, because you'll have to hide him in the run game. He's not the type. He doesn't shed blocks because he doesn't look to. He's a popper. He will pop you. You can see that in the film.
Yeah.
He will come up and pop you, but he's a reach tackler as well that probably gets people to the ground due to his size and his acceleration. Like if he gets enough speed up, you don't see him, he'll knock your head off.
Right.
But he's not a guy that's like, hey, I'm gonna throw this. He's not Micah Parsons. He's not gonna throw a guy out of the way and then still make a play. That's not his game. And he's not even a guy like Joe Thomas, where he'll kind of skate or ski underneath you, or Sean Lee even, who'll ski underneath you and still make that contact. He's not that guy. He's a guy that you simply line up and tell him to erase a man, and he'll clean it up like a safety. He'll clean up those run plays once they get to his level, but he's not getting in the backfield unless it was his assignment pre-snap to do so, or you're blitzing him. Either way, you know what I mean? And you can see that clearly on the film here.
Yeah, and let me pause this film because I want to set the record straight before we even start getting kind of too deep into this. I'm gonna pause it and we gonna come back to it because I just want to talk ball, then we'll talk film, then we'll come back to ball. All right, because
Gotcha.
it was a nice fight on Twitter. It was nice. It was a nice back and forth. This is the issue. I think a lot of people got caught up in semantics.
Yeah.
Big time. And let me explain.
Yeah.
Y'all go feel me when I do this. Let me ask everybody a question that's watching. That's why I say everybody that's watching, you go come out smarter today. Let me ask everybody a question.
That's all it's about.
That's all it's about. Is Donovan Wilson free safety or strong safety? I want everybody in the box to answer that question. What is he?
I think it's interchangeable. But I think he's better.
I'm not talking to you, Akoye. I'm not talking to film people. I'm not talking to people who actually watch the tape. I'm talking to people who make assumptions.
Gotcha.
Because I'm trying to keep it fair. Because, see, that's what we saw on Twitter. That's what we saw. We saw he played linebacker at North Dakota State. That's semantics.
Right.
We'll talk about it. We go prove, but I'm watching everybody putting in there. I'm seeing strong. Somebody else, James Gary, said strong. Now, I never talked to Akoye. OC, how long I've been saying that he's interchangeable?
For quite a while, man. Quite a while.
I put it in the Boss Cowboy Guide. I wrote it in my book. Interchangeable. I've never once talked to Akoye about that.
Yeah, no, this is actually a pleasure meeting both of you too.
Yeah.
This is actually the first time I met you guys. So
Exactly.
yeah, I know we haven't talked about it. That's
Exactly.
for sure.
This is the first time we
He's not
met.
lying with that. Yeah.
He not lying. So
And honestly, it's the first day on Twitter. Like you pulled me into it. I didn't know we was arguing until I looked up. Because I just looked through my messages. I said, I didn't even know it was a request box in the messages. I don't use Twitter that often. So when I looked in, I said, oh, damn, he's been messaging me for a minute. I ain't even noticed. So I was like, let me get back to him. And then it was just like everything, it was good chemistry. Everything just took off. Yeah, so we've been talking for maybe 3 days, man. So,
for 3 days.
Yeah.
So the stuff that y'all seeing and the stuff that y'all hearing and the things that he's saying and exactly what I said is because he's a film guy.
Facts.
That's all it is.
Facts.
He's a film guy. Like, there's no way he never talked to me. This is true. The only time we talked, OC, was Twitter. So
yeah.
I've seen, it's my boy Florida boy said both. You one of the few. If you ask 90% of the fans, they go say strong.
Right.
Let's set the record straight. We asked the question, is he free or strong? Let's look at the snap count. It's right in our face. The box, he had 220 snaps. Free safety, 379. So what did he actually play the most? Akoye, don't laugh, my brother. Don't laugh. See, because people called us out on this. Like, oh, you're lying.
Yeah.
No. See, let me tell you something. It's not about what they list these guys. They can put linebacker.
It's about
but if
what
he's
they're doing in
playing
the scheme.
safety and doing safety things, that's a safety.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
If you didn't, and beyond that, if you didn't, even when we went either way, like if you're looking at Cox and you don't call him anything, that's why I said the film talks.
Right.
I didn't care what he played.
Dog.
I just looked at where he was playing from. It's another dude that's like that, the kid from Notre Dame, Uwasu, I think his last name is. I forget how I kill names. But Uwasu, he was a second round grade, and he was a safety that really was playing linebacker. But if you watch him play, he was covering guys at the slot, but not as good as Cox is, and he was a higher grade than Cox is right now. Cox, they say we should have gotten a 4th round. Owasu, they said, was a 2nd round pick, and all he did was blitz. He blitzed and covered guys short intermediate routes. Cox was all over the place. So if that guy is someone they talk about transitioning to safety, why wouldn't you talk about transitioning Cox the same way? Because they played the same role in their defenses, but I think Cox did it a lot better. You know, as far as like shutting down 85 from Texas A&M, I forget that kid's name, but I know he's going to be a beast next year. He shut him down. And I watch guys who I like get killed by him. You know what I'm saying? So he shut him down all night. And whenever they put him on anybody else on LSU, it don't matter who was over there, he was dogging him. That's the only time he got any receptions is when they took Cox off of him or Cox had a different assignment, and his different assignment would be covering wide receivers out of the slot instead of the tight end. So Cox is a different dude. Pitts, covering Pitts, different dude. You know, I watched Kelvin Joseph, who I like, get killed by Pitts. Cox didn't.
Oh, talk that talk, Akoye. Don't talk that talk on us, brother.
That's why I said he's a corner trapped
in a safety's body.
Because if Joseph, who we all love, boss man, got beat for a touchdown inside on a skinny post against Pitts. Pitts dogged him on that, and Pitts beat him on another play where he got in the back. My fault, I was getting a call in. But if he got caught on another play while he was looking in the backfield, you know, the quarterback just didn't throw the ball because he got sacked. But I watched it on film. He got beat. I got roasted. You know what I mean? I haven't seen Cox get roasted by anyone on film yet. Period. I haven't. I've seen reception, but I haven't seen it like he lost a man. Not one time. And that's from North Dakota State through LSU. And that's why they say he's the steal of the draft, because if someone were crazy enough to come up with a scheme that was catered to his skill sets, you could call him whatever you want. Like, you could call Troy Polamalu a safety, but what was it? He was a guy that you just let do whatever you want, and he was an X factor on that defense. Brian Dawkins, Roy Williams, same way. Because we had Woody, Roy Williams was able to roam and kind of just play off instinct and hit people. That's what he did. And Woody would be the cover guy. So you have different skill sets that you cater to. Ed Reed was a guy that you just let roam. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you let him do what he wanted. So Cox is another one of those guys. Cam Chancellor, you could call him a safety, but Cam Chancellor's responsibility wasn't double. They didn't use double high safeties. It wasn't cover 2. It was cover 3 or cover 1. So Cam Chancellor was always in the box with the linebackers anyway.
Yeah, and he was playing
so it doesn't matter.
The hooks to the flats. Hold on real quick. So you going ahead of it?
They was really playing 4-4. That was 4-4. It was 4 linebackers.
Hold on. Okay. Slow down, okay.
Go ahead. My bad. I go on rant sometimes.
No, I love it though. Because I've enjoyed it. Like, and then this is the deal. Oh, so you got something real quick? You know.
No, man. I'm just enjoying, man, listening to another man that actually study and watch football, man. So it's actually a breath of fresh air, man. So no, I was just taking it all in. But I will say, you know, to his point, man, that definitely at North Dakota State, you saw Jabril Cox play primarily, you know, a safety. He even played corner at North Dakota State. He was playing in the corner role too.
See, we gonna talk about that.
And with feet and hips to my eyeballs, Boss Cowboy, and covering or shutting them down, undercutting routes, the whole 9. Jesus. Now, when you seen him in the box of strong, you see him to Okoye's point more as a blitzing safety, right? And you saw him use the same way at LSU, right? When they would run blitz him, right? He's responsible for the C gap. He's coming in and blitzing. But back to a previous point, which I think is really key. And I think regardless if you call him a linebacker or a safety, he greatly helps the Cowboys in this sense. When you see spread sets, you do not have to sub him out for a corner. You don't.
No.
Because he proved that he can cover slots, receivers, small and big. Because when he played against Mississippi State, he played against a small slot shifty receiver. Right. He covered him up.
Let me pause you. I got to pause you.
He do it better than any slot corner we got currently on the roster.
Okay, I got to do this. I saved this. I'm going to do it now because y'all just getting – man, y'all in my Kool-Aid. Let me say it like this. You know I got more film You already know I got more film. And this is the deal. This film is the first series of the Rams. And so this is not about highlighting a player. What we highlighting is the package. They're in a 12 personnel, right? Let's take a look at who's out there. In the nickel is Anthony Brown versus a 12. So for people who don't know what that is, I know everybody here know, but some people that's listening might not. That's 2 tight ends, right? And I'm going to let it play, and I'm going to show y'all that the whole first series, we ran a nickel package versus a 12 the entire time. Right. And they walked us downfield, right? So when we saying, where does he fit? He fit easily where Anthony Brown is. So when they say he can cover better and be that person where you don't have to sub in that nickel, this is what they're saying. So when you got a team like the Rams, that's a misdirection team, where you obviously going a nickel against a 12, because what you're doing is you obviously saying that we see your tight end as a passing threat, where we feel like the matchup to cover that is who? Anthony Brown.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say if people watch this whole show, y'all gonna come away like really understanding that people was getting caught up in semantics. Oh, he was labeled a linebacker at North Dakota State. No, look at what he's doing, not
what was he doing?
They labeled him.
That's what I mean. That's what the film shows. It's like I didn't have to make it up. Like I went and found players that line up with the players that I'm looking at. Like if something flashes, I'll go watch film, not only on the guy that I'm studying, but maybe 3 other guys that have a similar frame or similar skill set.
Right.
And then I let the film decide, like, oh, he looks like, it's not like I'm picking Derwin James's name and saying this is who I want to look at and this is who I wish he played like.
Right.
I'll go look at guys with that frame, watch the film on all 3 or 4 of those individuals, and then the film will decide based off the similarities of the plays that they make. And when you watch Derwin James make plays and you watch Cox make plays, they're making them from the exact same positions at that. I didn't go and you can't go and find, you can't ask for it that way. You can't go and say Derwin James single high because it doesn't come up that way.
Right.
So Derwin James interceptions, Derwin James safeties, Derwin James tackles for loss. And where do they come from? They come from the positions that just so happen to resemble where Cox is.
Thank you.
Film. So that's why the statement was made, not because we said we want him to be a safety. It's he makes plays from where a safety who's a Pro Bowler is making plays from.
Thank you.
He looks just as good doing it. So that's why people are saying, that's where the semantics argument is coming from. It's like, no one has to make this stuff up. It's not an argument.
It's not an argument.
Film, and then you'll say the same thing. If you say it different, it's like, because the difference is, I don't care if he's a safety or a linebacker. If you're making this argument, it's because you want him to be just a linebacker.
Thank
that would
you.
be the only reason to make the argument. If you don't care, as long as he fits the scheme, then you will say, okay, he can play linebacker if you want him to, because he's already a linebacker. Not,
right.
We don't control that. But you could also make an argument for this kid to play safety because his skill sets look more safety than linebacker. The way he doesn't shed blocks, he'll hold his block up when he's dealing with a lineman. If he's dealing with a wide receiver or a tight end, he will get rid of those guys and come get the ball. But he usually just lets his guy. He's so geared to playing man coverage that even when he sees the ball in the running back's hands, he's still holding on to his man. He'll just hold on to him and then shut him once the guy gets to him. But that's how geared he is into locking down whoever he's on. He will let them kind of like, it's not even like he's being blocked. He's just kind of floating up away from the ball while they're in front of him until he feels he needs to disengage. But he doesn't just quickly assess and run and get rid of his guy.
Hold on real quick, Akoye. We go break down everything you saying by film, because we still got the film to go. Because I want to see, we setting the record straight today, all right? To where we really just having a real, because see, I watched this film. Akoye said something. He said, listen, I'm breaking down the film. I'm not doing the data stuff today. He said that. but I'm
Right.
doing the data stuff too. Because see,
I like
the
the data. Go ahead.
see, because when you watching a bunch of film, as obviously we all had to going through the off season, getting ready for the draft, which obviously you did your homework. It's obviously you've done your homework. Sometimes you go look at the film and, like Akoye said, you say what they are based on what they're doing on film. All right.
Right.
So another quiz, because we setting the record straight. Jabril Cox, is he a linebacker or safety? So we showed the data. Everybody thought that because this guy is labeled strong safety, everybody thought he is only a strong safety. And that's what's breaking this down, Akoye. Everybody think when we say Cox to safety, they think we saying free. And then when we clarify and say strong, they automatically think, well, we got Donovan Wilson. See, because they thinking, oh, Donovan Wilson just plays strong. We showing you the snap count. He mainly played free. So you're not interrupting his development. All right, so let's answer the other question. I asked this question. We said, is he a linebacker or safety? Data. Let's make it bigger.
Hold on.
So this shows by PFF. Everything we showing you is by PFF, which shows the snaps by alignment. So what you see is exactly what Akoye and I are saying by data. Look at the 2020. What is obvious? He was way more in the box. Look at 2019. Way more in the slot. Okay? And like the OC said, you can see the corner reps as well. So when you put it all together, what this is obviously showing is that Akoye and I, when we was watching the film, we see. You good?
I can't hear.
You can't hear? Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, it's a button you got to push. It's not me. But you'll figure it out. I keep talking until you come back. But this is the deal. Because, see, this is about how people was kind of getting caught up with he's labeled a linebacker. Ah, damn, he can't hear it. And this is the part I wanted him to hear. All right. Listen up.
We'll rehash it, boss. Keep going.
Okay, so this is the deal. You can see by the snaps, and I promised everybody on Twitter, I said, I'm going to have the snap counts when we talk about this. Because we go look at the film and we go look at the snaps. People got caught up in how he was labeled. Yes, he's labeled a linebacker, but what did he play? Okay? That's why I say this about when I watched the film, it's another film breakdown I did that's similar, right? If you go watch this film breakdown that I did, okay, this film breakdown that I did on Jaron Curse. If you really watch his film, you'll see they used him 3 different ways in his career. At Clemson, he was a single high free. Minnesota, he was more of a hybrid third safety, strong. At Detroit, they labeled him safety, but you can clearly tell that they used him like a linebacker. So it's a lot of people, they get caught in like the semantics of what we're saying. Forget the semantics. Look at what they're doing. You back, Akoye?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Yeah, my earpiece died, so I was like, I couldn't get the audio back, so I had to go out and come back in.
No, you good. Yeah, you good. You came right back in. But what I was talking about.
So, Boss Cowboy, not to cut you off real quick, we need to address a comment from Florida Cowboy. Mm-hmm. He says that Jabril Cox can't cover better than Brown, and he ain't buying it, boss. He is not buying it.
Well, it's not about can he cover better than Brown. And see, I'm not gonna get into he can't cover better than Brown because nobody should be co-signing Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown should actually be off this team. All right. So I'm gonna just say it like that. But I'm gonna say this: in a 12 personnel, going back to a 12 personnel, you do not want Anthony Brown on tight ends. Anthony Brown on tight ends. You don't want that matchup. See, because I'm gonna show you something. Ah, man, let me pull out this. Y'all go ahead and. Damn, I should have queued up the Browns tape. I want to show you. I'm gonna pull it up later. I'm gonna let y'all talk. But I'm going to show the Browns and what happened when you show up in a nickel package going against 12. You'll get your guys killed.
Yep.
You'll get your guys killed. So it's not about he's better. It's just when do you use him and when does it make sense to use him? That's what we're talking about, not about better. And then he better. I don't give a damn what nobody say. He better. Girl, nobody say. No, the films, I see a playmaker, and I'm off the Anthony Brown train, man. That ain't like no high bar.
Right.
Acting like Anthony Brown just been shitting cat. Man, come on. If you want to see a typical conversion, watch what happened when they attack Anthony Brown. You go see more than likely the chains move.
First down.
I call Anthony Brown Mr. Almost. He's always making a play. Always.
Yeah, and see, when you tapped out, I wanted. It was one part that I really wanted to go over with you. I was going over because see, people was trying to go at us pretty hard on Twitter, but the snap count shows what we were saying. See, your eyes saw it, Akoye. My eyes saw it. The data confirms it. It's another thing that confirms it too. This is how you really know with semantics. How can you say he's a linebacker in a 4-2-5 system? The fact that you exclude a linebacker out of that 4-2 means it didn't matter how he was labeled. It was how they used him. That's why I said, man, you gonna learn some stuff today if you watch the whole show. Cause see, Akoye broke down the film.
I like how you go through the facts, boss.
Man, I don't play with these boys, Akoye. I'm like you, man.
Oh, that's love right there. I like that.
It's about the facts, bro. And that's why.
You ain't arguing from a feminine position where it's
No.
all emotion. You know what I'm saying?
Hell no.
Logic, masculine energy, man. Logic.
Logic all day, bro.
Know your work.
Man, I know my worth, homeboy. And it's so that that's why I said, listen, we go talk about this sensible. Like I see where the breakdown in and said let's bring it together to where the film matches the data. Don't get caught up in, because then if that's the case, if we say, because we talking about just as really explaining this, then you can say Donovan Wilson, even though he played more free, what was he labeled? Strong.
Right.
But does that take away the fact that he actually, and this is a fact, like my boy said, this is no emotion, this is facts. The snap count is right there on PFF. Right there. So when Akoye said, which it wasn't based on snap count, it was based on observation. I said, what is Donovan Wilson? He said, interchangeable. Why? He watched film. What did I say? I ain't never talked to Akoye like face to face to today. I've been saying that because I watch film.
When we started liking Donovan Wilson in the first place, like was in preseason against the Texans, he was definitely playing free in that game, going sideline to sideline, making interceptions. So, he can definitely do it. Did he make a lot of plays in the box last year, though? Yeah,
he did.
The Eagles, the Vikings, so on. That hit that we liked on Cooks, he wasn't a strong safety on that play.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
He was playing the free that play.
He was playing the free.
From the high position.
Oh.
And I think Woods might have been playing robber on that play, or whoever the other safety was. And when it broke in, I think he spilled out like he went on a wheel route or something like that. But when he broke in, he just drove down and jumped and cracked. That's all.
It's just facts. Yeah, it's just facts. And see, this is the deal, man. this stuff that we dealing with. OC, go ahead and jump in, because I can tell me and OC, I'll be the Akoye. We'll keep hogging the mic. Go ahead.
No, bro. Look, I'm laying back in the cut, man. You know, I fire my weapon when I need to. You
Okay,
know,
cool,
so
cool.
yeah, I'm
No
good,
ego.
man.
I'm with
I'm
you.
good. I'm good.
All right.
I mean, but the deal is this, man. I mean, when you think about this and how I forecast, right? Because you breaking down some old film from last year, how this forecast. Let me conceptualize this for the people real quick. Is that when you have a person like Jabril Cox, what that allows you to do, if you playing your two high safeties, it allows you to always lock down their number one receiver, because you can double him over the top every time. You don't have to help your slot at all. He's good to go. And that's what you got with Jabril Cox. Now, to bet, I know he's not strong in the run game, but I think that in the next couple years, not maybe this year, but between this year and next year, he forecasts into a much solid, sure tackler. This is why. Because he's a quarterback that went to safety, that played corner, that gained more weight at LSU. Now he's playing linebacker. And when he gets in the NFL scheme and he knows how to read run keys, which he does not know how to read right now. You saw it, he just was blitzed at North Dakota State. You saw it at LSU, he was blitzed, or he just was being an athlete and making a play in a run game. And his delayed reaction to reading what's going on is because he has not been taught. He has not been taught run fits. He has not been taught gap integrity. And you even see it at LSU's all their linebackers. Check this out. They recruit athletes, because if you look at all their linebackers, none of those guys really play gap integrity.
Yeah.
None of those guys really play good technique.
Yeah.
Those guys are just athletes, and they running around and they making plays, and that's why they recruited him from North Dakota State. So when he gets really trained, he's going to be much more proficient as a tackler. So in my mind, I don't care what you call him. I see him as a hybrid linebacker safety. I see him as a guy that can take away your number two receiver all day long, allowing you to double team and take away that number one receiver over the top all day long. That's
now
my
check
opinion.
this out. When you first start talking, I promise you, when you start talking about they go teach him how to tackle, I wasn't feeling that. But as you kept talking, I start feeling what you were saying, because one thing that you said, and we talked about this before, and I actually changed as you was talking. I was like, yeah, I can't fight truth when it comes to you. Is I judge coaches based on the group. So at first I was finna be like, oh, you giving them a pass. I was gearing up to fight you. I was gearing up. I already put my knuckles up. But when you see the whole group diagnosing slow, that's coaching. Because everybody in your group ain't dumb. Sometimes people read and diagnose slow because their IQ slow.
Right.
But when people diagnose slow and all of them, they not being taught right.
That's what I said about us after the Seattle game. Everybody was killing. They was killing Thompson. They were killing X Woods, and I usually dog X Woods.
Yeah.
Because I used to like him. I was high on him.
Yeah.
But everybody was killing him for that play where I think Lockett got behind him after Diggs let him go inside, and both safeties came down and kind of crossed hashes.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them crossed each other and didn't cover anybody. They're both. I mean, they might. If they were getting beat on the play, I get you. So they might get beat on plays. Yeah, that's what I don't like about them. But when they're both out of position, like grossly out of position, that means they didn't either hear the call, or they didn't understand the call, or they just don't know what the hell they're doing. But that's not them. You know what I mean? I chalk that up to COVID or coaching or
yes.
both.
Let's see.
Yeah, and let me jump in real quick, Boss Cowboy. Shout out to Keystone in the building. He said, "Put Jabril Cox at linebacker, please." He said, "Put him there, please." All right. Shout out also to Mrs. Scouting Pro. She says that Brown is a major liability against 12 personnel. She said all you gotta do is look at him versus 12 personnel teams like Philly and the Cleveland Browns, and they ate his lunch. That's what Mrs. Scouting Pro says.
And
shout out to you,
and then
Mrs.
also,
Scouting
because I looked at the Browns, the guy that was actually out there was Jordan Lewis, but they rolled him. they went at him on that 12, almost hurt him. I'm gonna cue up that film. We probably don't got time. We'll do that later. Damn, because I really want to show that, man.
X Woods was playing some pussy ball in that Browns game.
Got rolled. All right, listen, because I got some couple of more logical stuff that's, you know. See, Akoye said this. Now, remember, I have his film breakdown in my description. I said this, Nick said this or Akoye said this. I didn't know none of them until this week. You see what I'm saying? He said some of y'all are gonna be mad when he doesn't see the field a lot this year. That's why me and Akoye making this case. Now, if you go listen to Akoye and watch his film breakdown and listen and watch, he says something which let you know we seeing this exactly the same. He said about 3/4 through the film, he said, look, I'm not really trying to sweat whether he plays safety or not. If y'all just want to kind of throw away his first year and subject him to special teams, you go wait about a year. If you just gotta have him at linebacker.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. And see, I'm setting y'all up for the truth because I'm finna lay it on you. I've been telling everybody, Akoye, OC, how long have I been saying that they not gonna come out in that 3-4? How long I've been saying that?
Last couple weeks.
The last couple of weeks I've been saying they are not go do it. It's a smoke screen. They go come out in a 4-3. I've been saying that. Guess what? Yesterday, Sean Lee said it. He let the cat. I'm gonna play the audio. Hope y'all ready. I ain't playing no games with this.
Was there a point last year where you just knew this scheme, this team is just not working? Players aren't buying in.
Well, I don't know if we didn't buy in, but we knew early that we weren't playing defense the right way. I mean, you look at some of the games and the rush yards we gave up. Some of the times our offense early was playing great. Dak was playing unbelievable, and we weren't able to support them. I'll say this, though. We did fight as the year went on, and defensively we slowly got better and better. Now, I think with Dan Quinn kind of going back to a defense we've played, got better and better. Now, I think with Dan Quinn kind of going back to a defense we've played, got better and better. Now, I think with Dan Quinn kind of going back to a defense we've played, got better and better. Now, I think with Dan Quinn kind of going back to a defense we've played.
Akoye, I had to hit him with that remix, man.
Oh no, that was impressive. I like
See,
that.
see, cause
I better
see,
watch what I say.
no, you good, bro. But you do gotta watch what you say, bro. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But listen,
Do the whiz with that, like
hey,
you break down the voices like I break down the film. Like you,
hey, bro, like I take this like an attorney. They don't need to play with me, bro.
nah,
They don't need to play with me. See,
for sure,
and
for
I've
sure.
been warning. I said it, and my boy OC said for the last couple of weeks. And this is what I said. I say, and this is how the game go. This is how life go. You better not listen to what people say. You better listen to what they do. This is life. Yeah. Listen to what they do. And so what have they been doing? They came out last year and said we go run a 4-3, came out a 3-4. Because if you watch Mike McCarthy, and I like this about him, he holds his cards. And he used a lot of smoke screens.
Yeah.
He used a lot of smoke screens. So I wasn't buying it, Akoye. Oh, so you go tell the whole damn world we go come out in a 3-4 so they can start preparing for you. No. That ain't McCarthy's style. This is not Jason Garrett we dealing with. When he shut down the whole practice where you couldn't see even one formation, this is a different era, guy. So for everybody that keeps saying, oh, we gonna run a 3-4, he's gonna play. No, I'm telling y'all, we warning y'all. Akoye said it, I said it, Nick said it. For everybody that's hating the idea, because people think we saying this. They think we
Even
saying
if he ran 3-4, he wouldn't play though.
Oh, see, true, and I agree with you 1,000%.
Because he's not going to blitz on the outside. You're not going to put him outside. And if you're not going to put him at the will or the mid linebacker anyway, right now, or Sam or mid, then that's going to be in the 3-4. You're going to have Jalen in the middle and Micah Parsons in the middle. And on the outside, you're going to have two defensive ends that's pretty much standing up. You're going to have Randy Gregory as one of them, and whoever the other guy is, it is. But he wouldn't be out there. So either way, in a 3-4 or 4-3, you still wouldn't see the field at linebacker, period.
I'm telling you. See? Damn, man. This better get 10,000 views.
Man, great point, man. Shout out to Terrence Artis, man, and also shout out to Mojo. He said, "Boss, you a genius, bro." He putting you on genius status, man. He putting you on genius status, man. So shout out to you, bro.
I wouldn't
Thanks
say
for
that
joining
I'm
the
a
show.
genius, man. I just look at the actions. You know what I mean?
And you got LVE trying to get a contract this year. So even when Jalen gets kicked out to that specialty pass rusher position and they want to make him stand up in that Bruce Irvin type of look, if they run a 3-4 looking type of, because if you watch old Seattle Seahawks film, they did run some 3-3 or 3-4 looking type schemes, but that's because they had to hide Bruce Irvin. Bruce Irvin was on the outside standing up. So they would have Bruce Irvin standing up and then 3 down guys and then 3 linebackers behind that. So it was like a 3-3 or 4-3 with a stand. I don't know what you call that, 4-3 over or whatever, or 3-4. But whatever you want to call that, it still looked like a 4-3. And even if you looked at Jalen as that Bruce Irvin on this defense where you just kicked him out there, you still going to have LVE replace him, I think, unless he's injured. So that still would be, at right now anyway, that still would be Cox odd man out. I don't think they would sell LVE. He got to earn his contract from the bench. I think they're going to try to let him earn it on the field. So if that's the case, he's going to see the field before Cox does in that position.
I hope everybody listening.
Yeah, man. He went rapid fire on that, man. So, I know everybody didn't catch that, but it's all good, man. But look, I want to get your feedback on this, Akoye. Man, I mean, look, I'm a big fan of Rush and Michael Parsons, man. I think that because of his athletic ability, he plays his best ball going forward. He can play side to side because he's a super athlete. I think he makes the most plays going forward. So I like to see you rush him. Now, an antithesis of that, which is kind of not a unique thought, but a thought that kind of came out a little bit when Jalen started to show that he was coming mostly back from that knee injury. They did blitz Jalen some. And even going back to Notre Dame, they blitzed Jalen. Jalen has the top end quickness and speed to actually get around somebody and make some plays. What's your thought about that, man? How do you see it playing out?
I've been screaming that for if you watch any of the film I had on Jalen, I've been screaming that for 2-3 years now, that Jalen, because, see, Jalen has the ability to pick a direction and go, burst and accelerate. So then they say, okay, well, he's fast because he run a good 40 time, right? And he has some agility, yes, still, even though he had the drop foot or whatever, right? But where Jalen struggles, if you look at like games later on, he can't maintain that top speed for very long, number one. Like, if you watch him on some of those screenplays, it's like it looks like he's laboring, even though he's running. It looks like he's laboring to get to the ball carrier.
Like he's dragging his leg.
That's because he added a lot of muscle. If you look at Jalen, he looks like if any of you watched Dragon Ball Z back in the day, he looked like Vegeta when he came out of the isolation tank. Man, he's like blown up. Jalen looks super big. But as far as him coming forward and like having to deal with a guy and get to the quarterback, he could pick a spot and get to it, no problem. It's having him roam sideline to sideline that's the issue for Jalen. So if you took Jalen and had him, like you just said about Parsons, you have Jalen. Jalen will play his best football coming forward. But one thing I want to say about him, though, Jalen, we give Jalen a lot of flack because of the plays that he gets beat on. But I believe like you got to give attaboys for the plays that are amazing plays too. Because I remember a series against Chicago. That might have been the year before last, actually.
Yeah, they went at him 3 times. I know where you're going.
They went at him 6 times.
My bad.
They went at him like 6 times. But they caught 2 passes on him. Other than that, they went at him 3 times in one series, though.
Yeah, in the end zone.
And the third one, he gave up a touchdown. But that was excellent coverage for a guy that they say can't cover. And I always see Jalen streaking up the field. But when Jalen's streaking up the field covering the guy and that ball doesn't get thrown or it doesn't get completed, people don't pay attention to that because they're not watching the film because the ball might have went elsewhere, but you don't see, hey, nobody gets stats for good coverage because good coverage don't get a ball thrown at you. See what I'm saying? Thank you. So if you on the other side of the field and that's not on the broadcast because the ball didn't go that way, but the 3 times during the game it does go that way, you say he can't cover. That just doesn't make much sense to me. So is Jalen Micah Parsons in coverage? No. Is he sideline to sideline as well as Micah Parsons? Does he have the same wheels? We know that coming in. No. Is he Cox in coverage? No. But Jalen is still a pretty damn good linebacker. And I think if you just put him in position to accentuate his strengths and not his weaknesses, then you have a great ball player right there. You wouldn't take Shaq Barrett and say, "Hey, cover a guy," because that ain't what he do.
Right.
You wouldn't take when the Eagles had Jeremiah Trotter, you didn't see them saying, "Hey, Trotter, we want you out covering tight ends and receivers." When we had Roy Williams, when we actually were playing with Zimmerman and not Parcells ball 20 yards off the ball, when Roy was in the box, we didn't say, "Hey, Roy, we want you out here covering Jeremy Shockey on the sideline." We want you where you are, where you work best. And I think Jalen works best coming forward. If you want to put him as a specialty pass rusher, cool with me. If you wanted to play 3-4 and have him play outside linebacker, Jalen can do sort of like what that Kamaru kid was doing from Kansas last year on the film. He shuts down from 15 yards on the left side of the field down to the backfield. He will shut that whole side of the field down because he doesn't have to go sideline to sideline. So if you limit his responsibility, allow him to play with what's in front of him and not ask him to read and react, just say, "Yo, go wreak havoc." Jalen can do that with the best of them, period. So I think we're going to get a lot more quality out of Jalen than you think, due to the fact that you got guys like Cox and Parsons who can take some of that coverage responsibility away from him. And that would have been LVE as well if LVE could stay on the field. But I'm not a big LVE fan because, again, LVE is another guy. He's a safety. He covers like a safe as well as a safety, not a corner. But he's a safety trapped in a linebacker's body with too much fragility, and he tackles like it. And that's why his neck keeps getting messed up, because I believe in hit. I'm a boxing trainer. Hit and not get hit. And in football, hit and not get hit is not avoid contact. Hitting and not getting hit means get off the ball and hit first. That means you hit the target. Don't let the target hit you. See what I'm saying? LVE lets people into his frame and they hit him, and he's the worst for wear because he's always getting his neck messed up. So I'm sorry for going on that rant, but I think Jalen definitely will benefit from those guys being here, because you can kick Jalen over to the Sam, and if you just say, "Hey, Jalen, I want you to go and strike that tight end, or I want you to go strike the front end of this play, the strong side of this play, and turn it back into the rest of your guys," he can do that all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
man, I agree with you. I agree with you 100% real quick, Boss Cowboy, about LVE, man. I think that he is a catcher. He's too much of a catcher as a linebacker instead of a striker, especially being a middle linebacker, which caused him to get his neck jarred back and has caused the injury. But also because of his weight right now, his hips are too tight to be like safety-ish, right? So even in pass coverage, I see him more so like a liability.
I'm just saying he just plays like one. Because he's
exactly.
He's not a box guy, but yeah, he could never be a safety. No, he's too big.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But I agree with you on that point, man. Fantastic point about, man, him taking a blunt on the blow versus giving it.
Yeah. Never been big on it because of that. I think it's because of his neck, but yeah.
And see, listen, OC, what did I tell you behind the scenes? I said, you not going to find somebody that talk linebacker better than Akoye. Period.
No, man. No, true to form,
Appreciate
man.
that,
Excellent.
No, I mean that, bro.
Commentary, man.
Now I gotta live up to these words.
No, you do. Like, listen, I'm gonna say,
Appreciate that.
because I'm gonna be honest, and that's not common in the podcast community, where we admit where we have fallacies. You know what I mean?
Understood.
I play corner, which mean I know corner and I know safety well, and I know quarterback well, and I know receiver well.
Right.
I can grade athleticism on linebacker.
Right.
I need to strengthen my assignment knowledge.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I really listen to Akoye. When he talking linebacker, I shut up. I listen hard because you can hear the experience, you can hear the nuance, I don't know where he played, but I know he played. I played
for Bach Tech in Philly, man. I played for Bach for 4 years.
See, it's because the type of nuanced knowledge that you have on linebacker, that only comes from spending in the time that we all had to in the meeting rooms.
I'll tell you the truth, man. Like I said, just in all honesty,
yeah,
I was like Dak when it came to football. When Dak said, "Man, all I know about plays is I know more about Madden than I knew about football." Right.
Right.
When it came to learning the linebacker position or learning defenses, I learned it, I guess, the hardest way you can, which is honestly hours and hours and hours of breaking down film,
Yeah.
rewinding film, watching what guys are doing, and then going. I would do things like watch Jalen his rookie year, and then I would go watch Luke Kuechly and 5 other guys who do it the right way. And I would say, oh, this is what you were supposed to be doing on this play. So over time, it just muscle memory after that. I got an understanding for where they wanted them to be based on what the scheme was asking them to do. And then like you and everybody else, man, I respect all the podcasters out here and all the YouTubers as well. So I watch guys like Botch, and I learn from Botch too. I learned two gapping and how two gapping is done properly from watching Botch videos, to be honest with you. So for me, it's like hours and hours of film, and then experience as well. Like I've been playing football my whole life, even Turkey Bowl, it don't matter. I play football my whole life. I love football. But I'm a boxing guy. So understanding leverage from that, I just like athletic sports, period. If you coach, you can kind of get what body types, skill sets are suited for certain things, for certain positions. And linebackers use their strength, athleticism in their hands a lot more than a safety or a corner would, unless they're in press coverage. So I just paid attention to that a lot sooner than most people would, I guess, due to that. I like guys that have to strike with their hands and use their hands to deal with the opposition. So linebackers, this came natural.
Yeah, and so and we gonna land this plane for now, but I want to say something that's kind of crazy. I called West Coast today. And
West Coast, my man.
Yeah, and I'm actually. Oh, see, this is crazy. I'm actually in the podcast game because of Akoye. He don't know this though.
Word.
I swear to God on everything.
Oh man.
Because when I booked you, it was kind of crazy. It was kind of like I just booked the dude who actually started me. Let me tell you the story.
Wow.
I was debating you. And I was mad at you over Dak. I'm being honest, bro. Can I be honest?
Man.
Hey, you was popping your collar on me too, bro. You was, I don't care. I don't care. I ain't gonna lie. I was sending my personal, like, that's my quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And West Coast jumped in and he said, man, I'm so sick of people going at podcasters who have no film. And I said, homie, I broke down the tight ends last week. He said, oh, you did? Right? I said, yeah.
Right.
And I sent it to him. He was like, hey, man, you got a good voice. You ever consider podcasting?
That's
I
dope,
said, nah.
man.
But then fast forward, here we are, right?
That's
that never would have happened without our fight, man.
Man, I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
With the Dak hate, everybody thought I hated him in the beginning.
It wasn't hate.
More so the narrative. The narratives of what I didn't like. It's like, we know he's a young quarterback. He's a 4th round pick. We don't expect him to be great day one. Yeah. So let's not pretend that he's out here doing what Skip Bayless was saying he was doing early on. Now Dak lights out, but you can't tell me the Dak that we see today was the Dak we saw year one.
No.
It wasn't.
No,
obviously
it wasn't.
not.
No.
So when we were scapegoating guys, Cole Beasley and all those guys, Dez and everybody else, and getting them out of here as if it was their issue, it wasn't that. It was like, why don't you just say you have a young quarterback who is learning and maturing? But instead of saying that, they was throwing everything and everybody under the bus. So my film on that was just like, it was just straight like that. Like, man, look, I stand. That's why I would argue with anybody. So I knew we were going back and forth because I watched the film. So if you tell me what game, I'll tell you what play and what it did and what it didn't do. And then we can talk about it. If you can do that, then we cool. If not, then, but it's never personal.
Hey, Akoye, I can, brother. We're not going to do it today, but we'll do it maybe one day. But listen,
let's go, man. I like a strong debate. That's what I like about the round table too. When I'm on there, it's like I like talking football and I like still sharp and still. So if you saying something that makes me go back and say, well, damn, I missed all of that. Like I'll go watch Botch's breakdown if we broke down the same player, because he sees things the way he sees it, and I see things the way I see. So sometimes I miss something. And I'm like, or I might miss an assignment. And I say, well, damn, he might have been supposed to do this on this play. So Jalen not guilty on this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Based on where they were aligned on this particular scheme or whatever. So I like all of that, man. It makes us all better.
It does.
If you're a man about it and can take constructive criticism.
That's
as long
right.
as you're not personal, I could care less. You know what I mean? Let's talk.
So listen, we go land this plane because this was supposed to be all about Cox and setting the record straight because Akoye killed this breakdown. And what you and Vach been doing lately, I love it. See, this is what you and Vach doing that people may not see the evolution of y'all film. When he said Devin White plays like Parsons, he showed it.
Yeah.
When you said Cox plays like Derwin James, I love how you putting their plays side by side. You are a real lazy person to not go through all of what he just did. You are lazy because the work to do this is hard, y'all.
Yeah.
This is work. Yeah, it's a 10-minute film. I guarantee it took him about 4, 5, 6 hours.
You 100% right.
Yeah, for 10 minutes. And what he's doing in this breakdown is showing you line by line, precept upon precept, why it is not a reach to imagine what he's saying in terms of safety. And he didn't just do the film. He added the arrows, the comparisons, the side by side. If you don't go watch and subscribe, you sorry. He not sorry. You sorry. You lazy. Because he did the work. He did the work to make his point. Because I ain't gonna lie. Before we get out of here.
This play right here, man.
Oh, hold on. Let me go back. We're
play,
use for the preach. Go ahead.
That play right there is the only play you got to show. That was the route. You can rewind that a little bit if you want.
I got you.
That was a route. Watch this.
Yeah.
So he gonna cover the post, and the quarterback is buying time. So he covering the post from the slot off a press. He looking through the man right there. So if it was released there, he was on it. And now that the play break down, he see that he gonna have to trail. He never gains any separation. None. That wasn't even a route.
See, let me pause. Let me pause this because my boy Akoye say corners don't make this play.
Would have covered that route. Nobody who could cover that route. Corners can't cover that route. Like that's a weird. That's a broken down play, and he didn't get any separation whatsoever.
Let me rewind it.
That's how it's done.
That's how it's done.
Yeah.
So when people say he's not better than Anthony Brown, where's your film? Where's your film?
So basically, Akoye breaking down, man, that he's even excellent in coverage on the scramble drill. In the scramble drill, there is no defined routes because now the quarterback's trying to escape pressure. This is a pure scramble drill, and he's still on top of this guy.
On top.
Man, if he tackled
right on Rice.
The guy, that would have been a good play. If he just tackled him off after the catch, that would have still been a solid play for just staying with him and being in position to tackle the ball and not get any yak after that, right?
Right.
But to that pass up from being behind him and to get in front of him and break that pass up, that was ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. You can't ask for better from anybody, linebacker, safety, corner. It don't matter who's covering that guy. Who could do that? Period. This play here. This play was in the fog. I think this is Pitts in the slot, but it's a wide receiver in the slot, actually. Look at this play. Stride for stride.
Stride for stride.
Receiver. Looking
high
back
point.
at the ball. High points the ball and almost intercepts it. Stride for stride with a receiver with no help over the top of him at all.
And see, what I like about this, you was honest in your breakdown and you showed that how one was man and one was zone. But doing it in man is harder.
Period. Derwin's gonna do it in zone a little later too. You're gonna see him.
No, I just did. Yeah, I just showed the.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna do it in man against man, in man too against a skinny post against Buffalo. But either way, like these plays don't lie, man. They don't lie. That's why I said it.
Yeah, and lie. So and I'm gonna say this, man.
Same play right here. Same exact play that you just saw. Same exact play, like a in breaking route on the tight end. He right on his hip, like it's the same. Like they doing the same things, regardless of what I say. I don't care about where this guy plays. I really could care less.
I don't care what he was labeled either. Yeah. I don't care if they had him labeled X or Y. It's what is he doing?
That looked like Byron Jones right there. Look at that.
Right. So this the one you're
This is the
talking
one
about
from
on the
slot
man
right here with
coverage.
Derwin.
Yeah.
So this is Derwin's man right here. Same result.
Yeah. Same style, same body style. Listen, and see, you know, I think the record is pretty much straight. I'm gonna say this. I mean, if people confused, hopefully all the Twitter people come in and just take a look at what we saying, because it's just, you know, because I see this is the vision I see, homie. Before we get out of here,
Yeah, I see.
you feel me?
I see. Yeah.
I see what you doing there, Quinn. It's just
Yeah.
will the fan base get behind this? And see people, because I'm gonna just tell everybody that's lobbying for linebacker in 2021, you actually lobbying for him to play special teams. I just want y'all to know
Right.
that. I just want y'all to know that. I don't want the man. I want the man on the field. We already
He
saw the
sees
snap
field this
counts.
year at safety.
Yeah.
And if you want to swing him back to linebacker, if he gains 10, 15 pounds and he up at 240 next year or something, you just say he too big, whatever.
Right.
Your biscuit away from a linebacker. If you actually have another safety that you trust back there, he's still an advantage because you really got 3 cover guys out there if that's the case. Because even if he plays linebacker next year and you have him playing these responsibilities, but freeing the safeties up to do other things, that's still an advantage to us. But so I get that argument, but you're right. Like this year, he only sees the field barring injury, he's only going to see the field if he's on if he's on as a safety, because otherwise he's playing special teams. Because you're not paying Jalen $7 million a year to ride the bench, and you're not forcing LVE into a contract year and denying his 5th-year option just to have him ride the bench. So if both of those guys are healthy, they're going to be in a 3-way rotation with Parsons, obviously. So he's not going to see the field.
Somebody went hard on me. Somebody say I'm not sipping that Kool-Aid on the LOB. Listen, y'all. Hey, the LOB wasn't the LOB to year 3. All right? I just want to let y'all know that the LOB was not the LOB to year 3. We not saying they gonna be the LOB 2021.
Didn't create the LOB,
and he didn't. He didn't. So I mean, definitely tell the people where they can find you, man. And hold on, and don't leave because we go get off the stream. I want to say a couple of things off air.
No problem.
But hey, man, I really enjoyed it, bro. I really enjoyed it.
Anytime, man. Like I said, my skill set is all pouring into like breakdowns and so on. But your production quality, I love it, man. Everything I've seen so far, just being up here, so I like it, man. Anytime you want me on, I jump on.
Don't play with me.
I was like, I don't know this dude. He already feisty, so I'm like, I don't know what type of show I'm walking into, but I'm gonna jump on here anyway because that's how it goes. But
yeah. That boy say he feisty.
Like I like the whole flow of the show is dope. So anytime, I would love to be back.
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
you can find me at Akoye Media, man, on YouTube and or IG, Twitter. It's all the same handle. Akoye Media, all one word. You're gonna find me, man. And as far as my preference, YouTube it up. Just make sure y'all hit that respect button and respect what we do, because like he said, we put hours into putting out minutes of film for you. That's not, if we're editing it, it's a difference than just ripping film out and putting it back up. That take a couple of seconds. But if we're editing play by play, that takes hours. And then that's watching plays that don't even make the cut. So that's hours and hours and hours of film that in some of it you'll never even see. See what I'm saying? So respect it. That's all.
All right, hold on real quick. Before we go, check this out. So Shannon Sharp says, so Cox is going to be good at strong safety while Donovan Wilson is going to struggle at free. Okay, listen, y'all. We went through this. This is why go watch the whole show. Donovan Wilson already played a majority of free, y'all. Okay?
Donovan can roam sideline to sideline. He definitely, that's definitely in his skill set. The reason he looked tighter in college because he was about 15 pounds bigger. Right. He came into the NFL trimmed up. He was only 200 pounds when he got into the league. So that's why he surprised everybody with his abilities against. And that, if you watch the Texans preseason game, tell me he's a strong safety in that game, and I'll shut up. He wasn't no strong safety.
And see, it's a lot of misconceptions. And see, this is why I'm gonna have to do a part 2 of this. I'm gonna give you about a 2 or 3 week break, and we'll do this again. Because I
do
knew
it.
it was gonna be some stuff that was gonna. Because listen, I knew I should have did this. I didn't have time to do this. Shannon
Matter of
said
fact, you just gave me we're going to break down Wilson, and then I'll come back in 2-3
Let's
weeks.
do it.
That video will be out by then. I'm going
Let's
to break
do
it
it.
down, and I'm only going to use him in the single high formation.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And we gonna talk.
Yeah.
Go ahead, OC.
Go ahead. No, Shannon got a point though, man. He did get tore up against the Vikings, man. That part is true, man. And I mean, yeah, he can play both, man. But just
no,
real talk.
He not true on the B part. He's saying he played free because our free safety were trash. I want to explain this part because this is important.
I'm talking about the C part.
I'm talking about the
Go
B
ahead.
part. This is why I knew I should, because this is something that a lot of people don't understand, and I'm gonna do a breakdown when Akoye come back. People don't understand how to role switch from free safety to strong. They don't run out there like I'm the free safety. What happens is
Strong side, weak side.
Oh, see, Akoye, don't go ahead of me.
Oh, my bad, bro.
No, you good. I'm messing with you, bro. But that tell you we on the same page. He said it before I finished it. It's the strong side, right? And then when they go into motion, they do something called switch, or some people call it bump down. I knew I should have broke that down. And that's how he'll come out there with the title of strong safety, but the offense turns it into a free to keep the responsibility of the but I can't explain that. I got to show that.
You got to show that. Yeah,
I gotta
show
show
that.
that.
You got to create a
They're trying to
diagram.
create mismatches and so
Right.
on, and deceive the defense. But John Gruden does that a lot. He'll come out in our form and totally change the whole formation right there at the line of scrimmage to create mismatches. So you're exactly right.
Exactly. And so that B part was wrong. It had nothing to do with trash or nothing like that, that they just went out there and like, we go give you 60% free safety snaps because they're trash. No. The offense dictated the responsibilities of the safeties, and it just so ended it up that he had more snaps at free. So what really happened is that all this pom-pomming that y'all doing at him at strong, a lot of it was free play. Free safety play. But y'all, a lot of people being one-dimensional. So when we say Cox can play strong, y'all think we saying get rid of Donovan Wilson. We not. But we'll break that down better. You can't break this down like explaining it. You got to show it. I'm actually do a diagram on it.
And the last thing I want to say about the safety position, you got to think about this. We got Woods, who I don't really know where to use. Woods is not meant for this style of defense. Woods is a Dwight Lowry type of guy. He's not a cover guy per se, not a safety either. He's a guy that if you had like a Rex Ryan style defense, you could just move him around. He's a good player, right? But he's not Earl Thomas. And then you got Casey, and we already seen Casey can go sideline to sideline, but he's lighter than all our corners. He's smaller than all of them. Casey, and we saw what Zeke did to Casey.
Oh my God.
Zeke bodied Casey on the goal line. So I've never been the guy who likes having three corners out there, basically, where you have a safety that's playing that's really a corner. I don't like Woods at safety, and I don't like Casey at safety. I didn't like Ha either because they're finesse safeties. The only finesse safety I ever want to see again is Ed Reed. That's it. Other than that, and even Ed Reed would knock your head off. So
right.
I just don't like the way they play. You have a safety. Your safety needs to be able to. He has to like contact. Period. I want my safeties to get there. Earl Thomas is small, but he liked contact. Antoine Winfield was a corner. He was only 5'9", but he will knock your head clean off. So you can play that position and be a smaller guy. Honey Badger ain't that big, but he likes contact.
Preach.
He will come and hit you. So
damn, this is a good
Bob
show.
Sanders, 5'8". He likes contact though.
This is a
will
good
hit
show.
you. So that's the difference. And X Wood is the same exact size as Brian Dawkins. So when people say he's small, he's not small. Brian Dawkins was 5'11", 5'10", 200 pounds his whole career.
Different
X
mentality.
5'11", 210 pounds, 205 pounds. So it ain't about size. It's about intensity and want to. And he don't want to hit nothing. And neither does Casey. Neither does Mukamu. So I don't want to see none of them at safety, in my opinion.
But we got to do this again. Damn.
Yeah.
You going too hard. This is oh man, you can't do it like that. Listen, y'all. And they coming with some fire questions. Look, we got to respect him. He's actually giving us this content from his car. This is love, y'all. So let's let him out the door for now.
I'm at the skateboard park with my sons. They out there skating.
Oh, you good?
Skateboard park or what?
I mean, don't tempt me, bro, because we'll take this show.
No, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that, Boss. We ain't gonna do that. No, we ain't gonna do it. We gonna bring him back though, man. Because we gotta do him justice. Yeah, we gotta do him justice. Let him explain everything.
Yeah, we do. And then I want to have some slides to back what he's saying. You know, let's go paint the picture.
Especially the Donovan Wilson end. Let's do that.
Yeah, we'll put that on the calendar.
We can just decide. Let the film decide.
Thank you, preacher, bro. And Wendell, you gave the greatest compliment. Great content, learned a lot. We all want that. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew when Akoye was going to come in the building, he was going to bring that funk. 1. 2, I knew it was a lot of misconceptions that needed to be cleared up. So when people, if you listen to this whole show, you go understand fully how we're not contradicting the vision of Cox at safety. At least in 2021, and it actually makes sense because it's a way to get him on the field, get him some pro reps, get him some pro development, and likely get a pro safety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So y'all just keep open about it because this was the biggest insult before we land the plane. It's people that thought we was doing this for likes, and people that thought this is. It's like, bro, nah, bro, you got me messed up.
I make my money my own way, man. I do YouTube videos because I like them. This ain't my living or nothing. So it's not even like my all day thing. That's why I'll go disappear for 6 months and come back. Like I do it when I have a passion to do it. I love it. So it's like, it's straight up because I feel like it. The likes, I could care less.
Preach it, brother.
I could care less.
We always say this, Akoye. We always say this, and I mean this. Before I say I exit, y'all make sure y'all follow Boss Cowboy Sports on Facebook as well as Twitter.
Yes, sir.
And that's where me and Akoye got down. I think we got down too. Instagram.
Let's go. And that's another thing you taught people today, man. Like how to, like the fact that we even having this conversation and it started off as a debate. I didn't even know it was that. But that shows like you can disagree with people and still come to some common ground, man. So that's the way it goes. That's how men do things. We let's put that feminine energy down. Yeah, and like pick up that logic, man. Facts don't lie. Facts ain't feelings. Facts ain't feelings.
Man, you preaching too good, man. Don't do that.
Let's get it.
No doubt.
And so then obviously, man, anybody that want to gift Boss Cowboy Sports, it goes into the type of production that you see. It's not free, but it's one of those things that you could tell that we do stuff in excellence, and you can tell, like Akoye said, it's a passion behind this. So help the mission, help the movement, because we trying to win 6. Our slogan is our voice matter because I know it does. That's why I be banging on Twitter, because I want the ideas to get to the right people and get on the field. That's why I do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we thank everybody for staying with us. And before we get out of here, the last thing I always say, and I believe it from the bottom of my heart, never be devoted. Only be loyal. Always. Stay with us, Akoye. All right, my brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. Boss Cowboy Sports.